Many just call him Lyin' Ted. Lied about Ben Carson to steal a win in Iowa. Lies about being the best for the GOP when polls show he can't even beat Hillary Clinton. His TV ad about John Kasich? Lie. Stations had to pull it off the air. If Ted Cruz's mouth is moving, he's lying.
That is a TV ad paid for by a super PAC that supports Ohio Governor John Kasich. Now, Kasich says he's very unhappy with the ad. He said he has asked his team to communicate with the super PAC and get it off the air. With me now, national spokesperson for Senator Cruz, Ron Nehring. Ron, thanks in advance for the time. What do you think of that ad and Kasich's response? Did he give somebody a go-ahead to become more intense? Or is it, as he says, a misunderstanding between his team and the super PAC?
Yeah, well, I think that the Kasich campaign obviously has a very tenuous relationship with reality going forward. Look, the campaign's going nowhere. They've, whined openly that we're not willing to, cooperate with them to try to, rig the election going forward and carving up one state versus another. Look, Senator Cruz is the only candidate who has a plausible path to victory to win the Republican nomination either before or at the convention. We're working very hard for that to be before. That's why Senator Cruz was here in the state of California for the last 2 days. Tremendous response. And as for the Kasich campaign, they've lost 27 elections so far, so they're just going to turn increasingly desperate. No surprises there, but we're maintaining our focus and on our way to rack up victories in the upcoming states.
Well, I know, speaking of that, Wisconsin, Senator Cruz, at least by the Fox Business poll, showing that he is gaining a lot of traction. But I want to ask you about an endorsement that was just recently received for Donald Trump. So it's the National Border Patrol Council, and it's the agents union first ever presidential primary endorsement. Immigration is a key issue for so many voters. How will Senator Cruz fight the idea that Donald Trump is stronger on that issue than he is?
Well, Donald Trump is not particularly strong on any issue. I mean, look at the fact that he had that off-the-record editorial board meeting with the New York Times. He's unwilling to allow that tape to be released. It's been reported that what he really had to say at that meeting was that he didn't really mean what he says about securing the border and building a wall and so on and so forth. By strong contrast, Senator Cruz, who represents the largest state with the border...
Ron, in his defense, I just feel like I should point this out. He said that everything is for negotiation. He is starting with a certain point of view, and he is asking his supporters to support him and trust that if he does gain office, that he would look at things equally.
Well, you can't really trust what Donald Trump says, because this is someone who for 40 years has been bankrolling and supporting liberal Democrat elected officials in New York and nationally, giving money to the Democratic Party, fundraising and giving money to the Gang of Eight. By contrast, Senator Cruz, who represents Texas, which has the largest border with Mexico, is the only candidate to have released a detailed plan, which you can see at tedcruz.org, for how we secure the border and put a stop to illegal immigration. And that stands in very stark contrast to Donald Trump, who's kind of all over the map. I mean, look, this is someone who, has had multiple positions on multiple issues in the same day. That's not really an easy thing to accomplish. So in terms of trusting a candidate to be consistent and principled and strong on the issue of putting a stop to illegal immigration, putting a stop to the Schumer amnesty bill in the Senate, nobody can match Senator Cruz's record of strength on this issue.
Before we let you go, I just have to ask you, because you said the state New York, which is the next focal point after Wisconsin, Donald Trump has a lot clearer name recognition in New York. He has relationships with businesses in the Northeast. How much of an uphill battle will that be for your candidate, Senator Cruz?
Well, number one, we're focusing on New York, but of course the emphasis will increase after we see what the results are in Wisconsin, where Senator Cruz is doing very, very well. And look, I'm born and raised in New York, born and raised on Long Island. Everybody knows, what the issues are in the state of New York. It's one of the highest taxed, states in the country. And name ID is not simply, a driving factor anymore. Everybody knows Donald Trump's name. Everybody knows Ted Cruz's name going forward. And New York is not a winner-take-all state. It awards its delegates by congressional district, and we have some real opportunities in New York going forward. And I think New Yorkers are concerned about these issues of national security, and when you listen to what Donald Trump has to say in terms of withdrawing from NATO and these other bizarre positions that he's taken, people know that on the issues related to national security and defeating ISIS, there's nobody who could be trusted more to provide the leadership necessary than Ted Cruz.
All right, Ron, we thank you. Ron Nehring with us there.